Hello and welcome to coverage of Club 100's new for 2016 Elite Sprint Championship. It's the beginning of May and it's round 4 of the 11-round series and the first of 2 visits this season to the picturesque and challenging Whilton Mill circuit in the heart of England near Silverstone in Northamptonshire. The format features Club 100's best sprint drivers competing in 3 of 5 championship scoring heats, points from which will set the grid for the Repechage B final and the Trophy A final. In terms of the championship, Steve Brown won at round 1 at Bookmore Park and has managed to maintain a narrow lead over the consistent podium finishing of Darren Teal. The chasing pack in the championship is headed by Jay Elliott, the winner of Heat 5 this morning, Pete O'Connor, the winner of the A final at Rye House, and Jonathan Lissider. This trio are 40 points off the championship leader, and perhaps not surprisingly, the top 5 in the championship have all qualified in the top 6 for the A final today. So we begin with the B final. Henry Jones returns to Club 100 racing action ahead of the 10-hour event at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, and he starts in pole position ahead of Oliver Knights. Lightweight graduates Tom King and Alex Reddy start on row 2. Former heavyweight sprint champion Jamie Jenkins starts on row 3 with Ray Norris. And on the subject of former champions, look out for 2014 Premier Sprint champion Ian Blake on grid 13. He was the A final winner at Leeds. Former multiple champion Trevor Randall returns on row 7 with him. And 2015 lightweight sprint champion Dan Healy starts behind them on grid 15 of this 17-driver field. Poleman on the right, Henry Jones, he's bogged down, he's not made the start, and Knights tips in over the top into turn 1 and leads. Will this final be allowed to run, or will the abort flag be out? We'll have a regrid. It's Knights leading from Jones. Norris has his hand in the air and so does the rest of the pack. We're going to have another go at this one. So coming round to start this B final again, Henry Jones on the outside but on pole position due to the peculiar nature of turn 1 here at Whilton Mill. It goes left and then right uphill to Christmas Corner, and Jones has got a good start this time, and it's side by side with Knights, and there's contact. And Jones tries to tip it over the top of Knights in the second part and has ended up in the tyre barrier. And Oliver Knights leads, Tom King in the red, Alex Reddy on the outside, goes round the outside of King. Can he get it done through the kink? We're on board here with Ray Norris. That's Jamie Jenkins ahead of us. Jenkins has had a good start and he's going to take it 3 wide down into Ashby. On board with Norris, and he clipped the inside curb there and he caught the cone. That's a 1-place deduction for Ray Norris, and it has been seen. 4th place would not be enough now for Ray Norris. He needs to finish 3rd or better, and he's holding off Alex Reddy, Miles Sharman and Dan Underhill along the back straight into the boot section. And look at the lead that Knights has got over Tom King and Jamie Jenkins. Remember, it's 4 to qualify to the back of the A final. Jockeying for position, Alex Reddy looking down the inside of Ray Norris in the last corner, and I saw Ian Blake has come through and passed Miles Sharman. There's a hand in the air from Stuart Osborne. Not sure what that's for. Could be an apology, could be accepting a warning, or possibly a penalty that shows up at start-finish. King looks over his shoulder, so does Jamie Jenkins. Ray Norris going narrow to hold off Alex Reddy. Desperate to hold on to that 4th position. Trevor Randall round the outside of Paul Crawford through the kink, and he puts Paul half 2 wheels on the grass. Jonathan Bowers down the inside of Crawford on the brakes. He's gone a long way in. He clipped Dan Healy and spun himself out. Healy keeps going. Thomas Glyde narrowly missing the incident as well. So Trevor Randall back in Club 100 action before his appearance at the 10-hour event at Spa. And Tom King is under pressure here from Jamie Jenkins, looking for a way by. Norris trying to hang in his slipstream, and he's got Alex Reddy hard on his bumper, as is Jamie through Crook, but he's lost a half a cart length there. Now he's back on it. Norris is once again on the defensive to hold off Alex Reddy, forcing him the long way round. And that's allowing Dan Underhill to close in, and on his bumper is Ian Blake starting off grid 14. Down the inside, Jenkins takes a look, can't get it done, but Blake is through on Dan Underhill. Kart number 2, the former Premier Sprint champion of 2014. Second in the championship last year. That's what's denoted by his number plate. So 4 to qualify. Oliver Knights pulling clear. His lead now extended. It was 1.6 seconds on the last lap. This time through, actually, I think Tom King might be a little bit closer. Just a tad, it's 1.5 seconds. He's pulled a 10th back. Pushed on by Jamie Jenkins, that's clear. Norris unable to go with that pair, but here comes Jamie Jenkins down the inside. It's a good move, and King's already looking for Ray Norris. So Jenkins through to second, King to third, Norris to fourth. Reddy takes a look down the inside, needs to get on with this one because Ian Blake is coming through the field, and he looks to the inside into Parker, and he gets it done, and he runs Reddy out wide. Still running, but he's lost another spot to both Underhill and Miles Sharman with that clatter through that barrier into the boot section. On board with Ray Norris, you're looking at Tom King in third place. Jamie Jenkins beyond, and the dot in the distance, 2 seconds up the road now, is Oliver Knights. Still, there's 5, 6, 7 drivers fighting over 3 remaining qualifying positions. King looks over his shoulder, on the defensive to hold off Norris, and here comes Ray Norris down the inside. He got a good run through Crook, and that set him up for the move at Christmas. And I think Norris is conscious of Ian Blake pushing through Inkermans and Underhill. Will he make it 3 wide? No, he won't. But Ian Blake is going down the inside, a bit of pod to pod rubbing, and I think Ian Blake will tip in over the top into Parker. Yes, he will. Gives King a little bit of room on the apex, and they both make it through. And Graham Coombs in the red pushing through on Dan Underhill, can't get it done, and a chance for Miles Sharman. Underhill covers off that move into the boot section, and another lap goes in the boots. This final's been reduced to 9 laps due to problems in the heats. Needing to get on with this one quickly, and we move on to lap 6. Jenkins looking comfortable now in second place. Ray Norris hanging on in third. Ian Blake in fourth place. Those would be your qualifiers right now. Tom King is on the defensive to hold off Alex Reddy. King not wanting to lose fifth place and to be first in the queue. Had a shot at getting back in the top 4, but Reddy's down the inside, can't get it done. And that's giving a chance to Dan Underhill, but it'll be the long way round for Parker. That won't be on. Underhill gets back in line. Graham Coombs in kart 42, under pressure from Miles Sharman. Side by side into Chapman's, and here comes Trevor Randall, and Dan Healy's going round the outside of Coombs and round the outside of Randall. Is it on? No, it's not. Trevor Randall knows a thing or two about defending position. 2 generations there of Club 100. Dan Healy, 2015 lightweight champion. Trevor Randall was the lightweight champion in 2002. Into Crook, flat out through the second part. Andy Cowell trying to run down Graham Coombs, and Healy's going to try again at the kick. Can't get it done, and he's not too impressed with Randall. Coombs to the inside, can't get it done. Through the kink, through Inkermans. I think Coombs and Cowell have gone in a bit deep into Inkermans, and a chance for Crawford down at Ashby. Gets the move done on Andy Cowell. And Dan Healy still remains on the bumper of Trevor Randall in that fight for 9th place, and they're losing ground on race leader Oliver Knights, and more crucially on the 3 drivers behind them. Look at that, it's a trio now, 4 away at the front effectively. Tom King in 5th place is losing ground. He's 1.5 seconds behind Ian Blake in 4th place. Knights stroking this one to the finish. King under pressure from Reddy and Dan Underhill, and 5th place might not be the worst place to be, because Ian Blake is running down Ray Norris and looking for 3rd place. Remember, Norris has got a 1-place penalty, so if he falls back to 4th place, he'll be demoted to 5th at the finish. So Norris is hanging on to 3rd to remain in 4th place, and here comes Blake down the inside at Ashby, clean and clinical. And I think I can hear an audible no, no, no on Ray Norris's onboard camera footage. So Tom King running 5th, but looking at 4th place if he can keep this going to hold off Alex Reddy, Dan Underhill and Miles Sharman. Alex Reddy was runner-up in the 2015 lightweight championship, finishing ahead in the final point standing of Tom King as it happens. On to the final lap, and this is the fight for the effective 4th place and the last qualification spot, side by side with King and Reddy. And here comes Dan Underhill, side by side up the Christmas corner. Reddy's tried this before around the outside of Ray Norris, couldn't get it to work. He's got it to work this time, and Alexander Reddy running in 5th, but effectively 4th place if it finishes like this now. Ray Norris needs to run down and pass Ian Blake and I don't think he's going to do it. He's a couple of car lengths down through Chapman's. A few corners from the finish. Alex Reddy in 5th, looking at qualifications. There's your race winner overnight. Jamie Jenkins, Ian Blake, Ray Norris together. Blake's going for 2nd, and a gap opens up for Ray Norris, and that's put him through to 3rd to finish 4th in the final standings. So it's Oliver Knights, Ian Blake, Ray Norris demoted to 4th behind Jamie Jenkins going through. Alex Reddy misses out. And this is the A final for the top 20 qualifiers, joined at the back of the grid by Oliver Knights, Ian Blake, Jamie Jenkins and Ray Norris as the top 4 from the B final. In pole position, one of the pre-season favourites, Jay Elliott, ahead of Stephen Hicks, who won Heat 2 earlier. Jonathan Lister and championship leader Steve Brown are on row 2. His main rival, at least on points right now, Darren Teal on row 3, with Rye House winner Pete O'Connor. Heat 1 winner Tyler Mays, who's moved up from the now defunct Club100 Sprint Championship, is on row 4 with Heat 3 winner Jack Harding. John Pethick and Tom Dix make up the top 10. The reigning champion, if there can be such a thing with a new championship, is Premier Sprint champion Anwar Burrell-Smith. He starts on grid 11, and look out for the 2014 champion Ian Blake trying to come through from deep in the field as he did in the B final, starting on grid 22. Jay Elliott controlling the pace in the white there on the right hand side. Well, he's just not going. He's been pushed along there by Jonathan Lister, and Stephen Hicks was ahead at the start line, and he leads through Crook and uphill. Will this be allowed to run? We saw in the B final that it was waved off, and indeed it's been waved off again. So looking for a cleaner start this time. Poleman, cart number 4, Jay Elliott. On the front row with him, Stephen Hicks. On the second row, Jonathan Lister and championship leaders Steve Brown in cart number 3. Darren Teal second in the championship, and Pete O'Connor, Rye House winner, on row 3. Into turn 1, and Jay Elliott got the whole shot, and there was just the slightest tap on the back bumper there of Darren Teal from Stephen Hicks as Darren moved to take the second apex. But it's Elliott leading Lister, Steve Brown down the inside of Stephen Hicks into Christmas corner, and then it's getting fairly frantic behind, and Jack Harding's been put on the grass. Where's he coming back on? Well, it's past Ingermans and just out of the main pack. Down into Ashby, and Tyler Mays goes down the inside of Stephen Hicks, who gets run out wide, and John Pethick and Tom Dix have gone through as well. Hicks not too happy with that move, I think, from Tyler Mays. Down to Chapman's. Tyler Mays has moved through to 5th place. As the rest of the field are busying themselves, having a sort out, getting in a running order. On board with Dave Waters. Oliver Knights ahead of us, he won the B final. Into the boot section, somebody running wide. It's all a little bit messy, and Dave Longman's had to let Ian Blake and Oliver Knights through. So it's Elliott, Lister, Brown. Look at the gap they've got on Pete O'Connor. Mays, Pethick, Dix and Stephen Hicks trying to recover. Basically everybody's gained a position at the expense of Darren Teal and Stephen Hicks. And look at Tyler Mays, he's already gapped the group behind. Pethick holding off Tom Dix. Stephen Hicks through the kink, through Inkermans, down to Ashby. Dix took a look up the inside, and Pethick's run wide. Remaining clear. And Hicks is under pressure from Harry Neal. Promoted from the Lightweight Championship. Going well here at Whilton Mill. On board with Waters, who throws one down the inside of David Longman. And Longman's going to just have to live with that one for a few corners. Well, Tyler Mays has moved on to the bumper of Pete O'Connor, and he's getting an overlap in the last corner. Side by side. Misses the cone on the inside. Has he got the position? He hasn't. Pete O'Connor hanging on here. Mays looking for a good run through Crook. No, he's in the draft. You can hear the engine note rise as he comes on the brakes up at Christmas corner, and that's a good clean move from Tyler Mays. Now as O'Connor got a counter-attack on, and Lister's down the inside for the lead at Ashby. And look at the gap that these three have got on the O'Connor and Mays battle, and Steve Brown has moved through to second. So first to third in 2 corners for Jay Elliott. And he wants Stephen Brown to tow him back to Jonathan Lister. Well, this is a chance for John Lister to win this one. The rest of the field streaming into the boots. Knights ahead of kart 52. Dave Waters, and he's looking to get a run in the last corner, side by side. Not quite as frighteningly fast. A corner to go through now with all that lovely concrete runoff, and the same could be said of Crook on the exit, all in the name of safety, so we can't complain. So the field lining up behind Tyler Mays in 4th place. Further back, Longman, ahead of him Ed Bars, Dave Waters, Oliver Knights in the blue. Waters going narrow into Ashby will open him up to an attack here from Ed Bars and Oliver Knights. Jack Harding to the inside of Harry Neal. That's a lovely late hard move, clean as you like. And Steve Brown, the championship leader, has moved onto the bumper of Jonathan Lissiter, coming round to start lap 5 of 11. And Steve Brown looks pretty quick and pretty racy, looking for another win. The field stream through. Lissiter takes a look. Brown to the inside. Well, he's holding fire for now. Jay Elliott is being stretched, but he's just there on the brakes, a kart length down on Steve Brown. So this remains a 3-way fight for victory, and it does look as though these 3 will dispute the podium steps. Tyler Mays is 2.5 seconds behind this group, but beginning to gap Pete O'Connor. And here comes Stephen Brown. Lissiter looked over the wrong shoulder, and Steve Brown moves to the lead. Now can Jonathan hang on and live in his slipstream and get towed clear of Jay Elliott? And can Jay Elliott get back on? Tyler Mays running in 4th place, ahead of Pete O'Connor, Tom Dix, John Pethick, Jack Harding, Stephen Hicks, James Hattersley fighting hard here with Anwar Burrell-Smith, the 2015 Premier Sprint champion. He's under pressure from Harry Neal, and here comes Ian Blake down the inside of Neal into Christmas from a long way back, but it's a good clean move, and the 2014 Premier Sprint champion moves up a spot. He's now in 12th place. Not bad going from grid 21, but a long way off the leading battle here. Brown, Lissiter, Elliott down at Chapman's. And Stephen Brown is beginning to stretch Jonathan Lissiter, and Elliott is really hanging on the toe by his fingernails. John Pethick trying to get past Jack Harding, and I think he might lose out to Stephen Hicks. Yes, he will. Another lap goes in the books, and we move on to lap 7. And Pethick is down in 9th place, Harding in 7th, Hicks in 8th. So Jack Harding heading uphill, takes a look over his shoulder. Tom Dix down the inside of Pete O'Connor, and that's for 5th place. So O'Connor is sliding back through this final. Probably wishes he changed his kart before this final now. Anwar Burrell-Smith still side by side and fighting hard with James Hattersley, one of the few drivers to come up from the heavyweight championship at the end of last season and making his mark. Ian Blake down the inside, and Harry Neal does it, makes it 3 wide and does the pair of them. So another promotee, lightweight runner, Harry Neal, not fazed by being in the top class here, and Jamie Jenkins down the inside of Anwar Burrell-Smith, whose title defence is proving to be a difficult second album to write. Side by side, Harry Neal pushed all the way across to the tyre barrier by Ian Blake, and it's still side by side through turn 1. And once again he goes side by side with the former champion, has one on his bumper, and down the inside he opened himself up there by mistake. Well, just shows a little lack of experience with racing with these boys there. Should have covered that one off. And Oliver Knights has got ahead of Ed Bars in their fight for 16th place, back on board here with Longman down at Ashby. And James Hattersley has moved on to the bumper of John Pethick, who's forced to go narrow into Chapman's. This is the fight for 9th place, and James Hattersley wants to make his mark in the top 10. There's your race leader, Steve Brown, Lissiter and Elliott hanging on. Mays actually closing in there in 4th place. Pete O'Connor back ahead of Tom Dix with Jack Harding behind, so it's a 3-way fight now for 5th place. O'Connor, Dix and Harding. Oh, we saw Dix go by, so I can only think he's made a mistake and fallen back, but he's down the inside once again into Christmas, and here comes Ian Blake slicing down the inside, and once again Jack Harding 3 wide with Dix and O'Connor through Inkermans. That only happens in Club 100, and Stephen Hicks would like to make it 4 wide into Ashby. But Jack Harding stays in 5th place, which is strange given he was on the grass just at the corner before, and he's still having a hold off Tom Dix by going narrow. Stephen Hicks is in there, John Pethick, now Ian Blake is in the group as well. And what have we got here? We've got a 6-7 way fight for 5th place with Anwar Burrell-Smith back ahead of James Hattersley and in the top 10. And Tom Dix moves through to 5th as we come through to start the penultimate lap here at Whilton Mill in the A final of the Elite Championship. You're not missing much up front, it's still very tight. Steve Brown, Jonathan Listener, Jay Elliott all in touch. The fight is really on over 5th place, and Tom Dix is trying to pull now Jack Harding clear of Pete O'Connor, who's holding up the pack as he's done for most of this final as best he can. And Ian Blake moves through on John Pethick to go into 9th place. Back on board here with Dave Waters down the inside of Harry Neal, side by side, runs him out wide and puts Harry Neal through the barrier. And here we are back up front, Steve Brown now stretching clear of Jay Elliott, who's just got back past Jonathan Listener. Oh, and that was well timed by Steve Brown. We're on to the final lap and he's going to run out the winner here. Dave Waters coming through the last corner. He'll look to the penalty board that's swinging under the start-finish gantry to see a penalty for him for that assault on Harry Neal. There's 4th place, Tyler Mays cruising to 4th place. John Pethick trying to hold off Anwar Burrell-Smith in what I think is the fight for 10th place. Jamie Jenkins in the mix, Waters running with his penalty now. Down at Ashby, can't get it done, and Ian Blake is trying to find a way past Pete O'Connor. Well, what's happening up front? Well, the race win is going to go to Steve Brown. Jonathan Listener's got one last chance into the toe of the boot, can't get it done. Is the crisscross on? No, it is not. Steve Brown takes his 2nd win of the season. Ahead of Jay Elliott, Jonathan Listener, and Tyler Mays has a career best 4th place finish in his debut season in Elite class. A win, a well driven, Steve, I've got to say, and I didn't think you were going to win that one, but you've come through the field to win it.
Yeah, I was pleased after Christmas on lap 1, looked behind and there was just the hugest of gaps. So from then on it was pretty comfortable, but I felt pretty comfortable in that car, so I thought I might as well go for some moves, and they thankfully came off.
And I think pulling away at the top of the championship maybe.
Well, I'll have to see after today. If you drop a couple of rounds, it might get interesting, because I'll still say that Ian Blake is up there. I know he didn't have a good round today, but so he'd be up there. Daz was not so good today, unlucky today, but Joe had another good round, so it's by no means over yet.
Just wasn't there.
No, just a little bit off the pace, just tiny bit. Steve just had a bit more bottom to mid-range, and couldn't do anything about it. Tried my best. Jay got past me, made a mistake. I was catching him up last lap, made a mistake, and that was the end of that. But I thought when Jay went past, we'd try and see if we can catch Steve up, but it wasn't to be. So good day though. Good day.
That's still good points.
Yeah, it's good. Good. It was good fun. Cheers.
Glad you're happy.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, it's still good fun, isn't it?
But to our winner then, winning Whilton Mill round 4 here in the elite class, driver number 3, Steve Brown! Well done, Steve. There we go, mate. Steve, good job. Well done.